Imagine standing in a room full of people and saying nothing. No jokes, no stories, no attempts to win anyone over. Just silence. And yet, you control the room. How? Because silence is power. In a world that never stops talking, the one who can stay quiet, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't beg to be liked, is the one everyone watches. This isn't weakness. It's a kind of invisible strength. Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher, saw silence not as absence, but as presence, a tool of those who refuse to be ruled by fear or the need for approval. Today, we're diving deep into Nietzsche's radical idea. That silence might be the ultimate form of power. We live in a world obsessed with noise, status updates, hot takes, hashtags, arguments. We're told to always speak up, always engage, always be seen. But Nietzsche challenged this. He believed that most of what we say is not true expression. It's performance. We speak to be accepted. We shout to feel powerful. But in reality, we're hiding. Nietzsche once wrote, "Talking much about oneself can also be a means to conceal oneself." To him, all this noise is fear in disguise. Fear of rejection. Fear of being misunderstood. Fear of being alone. So we fill the silence, because silence forces us to face who we really are. But what if you embraced that silence instead? What if, like Nietzsche's Übermensch, you stopped needing to be heard and simply became worth noticing? Nietzsche's ideal human, what he called the Overman or Übermensch, doesn't chase validation. He doesn't try to fit in. He doesn't fear being misunderstood. Why? Because his strength doesn't come from others. It comes from within. And silence becomes his weapon. Think of it like this. When you're silent in a conversation, people lean in. They wonder what you're thinking. They become uneasy. Because silence breaks the rhythm. It shows you're not playing the game. You're watching. You're choosing when to speak. You're not reacting. You're acting. Nietzsche admired this kind of self-mastery. To him, it was the sign of someone who had conquered themselves. And the person who controls themselves begins to control the world around them. At the heart of Nietzsche's philosophy is the will to power. It's not about dominating others with brute force. It's about overcoming yourself, rising above fear, doubt, weakness. And silence plays a crucial role in this, because silence demands courage. It's easy to fill the air with words. It's hard to sit with your thoughts, to resist defending yourself, to let others misunderstand you, and still feel secure. But that's where real power lives. Nietzsche wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Silence connects you to that why. It strips away the noise, the distractions, the false identities. It forces you to ask, who am I when no one is watching? Who am I when I don't explain myself? Who am I when I'm just silent? The will to power isn't loud. It's quiet, focused, relentless. It's the silent force that drives you to become more than what you were. So how do we use this? How can you turn silence into power in a noisy world? Here's how. Stop over-explaining. Let people wonder. Your silence creates mystery. Pause before responding. That pause is power. It shows control. Speak only when it adds value, not to fill the air. Be okay with being misunderstood. Not everyone deserves your truth. Observe more than you speak. The loudest person in the room isn't always the strongest. Nietzsche's silent strength is not passive. It's intentional. It's rooted in deep self-knowledge and a refusal to be a puppet. In silence, you discover your center. You stop reacting and start deciding. So here's the truth. Anyone can shout. Anyone can argue. But it takes a powerful human being to say nothing and still command the room. Nietzsche understood this. He saw that the strongest people are often the quietest, not because they have nothing to say, but because they've already said it, by the way they live. So the next time you're in a room full of noise, don't compete. Be still, be silent, and watch how the world starts to lean in.